Armstrong Center for Teaching and Learning presents the Summer Fellowship of Flipped and Blended Learning. This is video 2, Planning for Flipped Instruction. So, at the end of this video, you're going to be able to identify flippable moments in the classroom, and you're also going to be able to construct a flipped lesson plan following a 4-part template given to us by researcher Barbie Honeycutt. Most instructors find themselves asking the question of when do you flip? How do you find those flippable moments when you stop talking at your students and start working with them? Students have endless amounts of free content at their fingertips. With the internet, online courses, and YouTube, they can get an answer whenever they want it. What they can't do on their own is analyze, synthesize, and experience the process of engaging in higher levels of critical thinking. This is when they need to do the messy work of learning, evaluating, and critiquing. This is also when they need your structure and guidance, but not the answers. They have to make meaning for themselves. This is considered a flippable moment. So how do we know how to identify these flippable moments? First, let's look for confusion. You can do this by thinking about the most difficult or challenging parts of your lesson. This will let you anticipate where the confusion can occur. Also, think about what quiz or exam questions are consistently missed. If you have taught the course before, you may already know where these knowledge gaps occur. If you haven't taught the course before, you may want to consider a pre-assessment to measure students' prior knowledge. Another way to identify flippable moments is to look for fundamentals. This can be done by asking yourself what is most essential in the lesson for students to move forward. You can then design multiple learning opportunities where students can practice, test, and reinforce their knowledge to ensure mastery. You can also recognize flippable moments by looking for boredom. Boredom will destroy a learning environment. When your students are bored, they are less likely to participate. If you are bored, you are not going to provide the energy needed for the class. When you come across boredom, it is time to flip the lesson. You can give the students the lecture for them to watch on their own while providing something for them to do in class. To help us with planning, we're going to look at a 4-part lesson plan. The first part is purpose. What is the purpose of your lesson? It may seem like an obvious answer to you, but most students will need to know the goal. Ask yourself, what should students be able to do at the end of the lesson? Focus on the lesson you are flipping, not the whole course. Write the purpose statement as a learning outcome using language that is specific and measurable. The more specific and measurable the purpose statement, the more successful you'll be in clarifying your expectations, creating learning activities, and developing assessments. The second part is prior to class. This is the work that students need to do before coming to class. You need to have a strategy for holding students accountable for completing the prior to class work. Consider using classroom assessment techniques such as quizzing, discussions, or forum posts to make the completion of the prior to class work visible. Keep the prior to class activities focused on the lower level learning outcomes so you can dedicate the in-class time to addressing the higher level outcomes. Okay, the third part is in class. When students arrive to class, what will they be expected to do? With the flip model, the in-class time should be designed so students are engaging in activities connected specifically to the highest level learning outcomes. What are students analyzing, evaluating, or creating? What problems are they solving? Are they using their laptops, tablets, workbooks, or textbooks? Are they in groups? What is the purpose of the group activity? How does the group's input improve students' ability to actually achieve the learning outcomes? Always select flip strategies based on what types of activities and tasks help the students achieve the learning outcomes. Otherwise, students may see the activity as busy work, and they may not take it seriously. As you and your students become more comfortable and confident with the flip model, you can design more interactive learning experiences for other lessons. The final part of the lesson plan is the closing. How will the lesson end? In the flipped learning environment, students are often moving at different paces as they work through the course materials, solve problems, and share ideas with their groups. For this reason, it's important to make sure everyone is on the same page as you prepare to end class. Revisit your learning outcomes and help students determine which ones they achieve and what content is still causing confusion. You can end class with a quiz, a summary, or a preview of the homework assignment as they prepare for the next lesson. You could end the class by revisiting the learning outcomes and reminding students what they have achieved and why it matters. The key is to bring the lesson to a meaningful close and ensure all students are prepared as they leave one lesson and move on to the next. By addressing these 4 areas, you can begin to organize the flipped lesson plan and connect the prior to class work to the in-class activities. The planning process helps keep you and your students focused and on task. So that concludes our video, Planning for Flipped Instruction. I want you to write down a flippable moment in your classroom and then think about how you can incorporate that into your content module that we do at the end of this workshop. Take care, see you soon.